I'm attempting to do a weekly vlog this week. Welcome to Monday, the start of another busy week. This is my new room, by the way. I just got to campus. It is 7:40. I have class from 8:30 for a few hours, and then I'll just study until I leave for training. Every day I'm just in the library until it's time to train, unless it's a day where I'll do gym or cross training, then I'll do that early and then just stay in the library. Honestly, having training Monday, Wednesday, Friday where I have to leave at like 3:34ish has saved me. Otherwise I would be doing like 12-15 hour study days every day, which would be so fucked up. Like, I've just been exhausted from how much work my brain is doing. In my undergrad I worked so hard, and this but basically it requires like 70 hours a week of work on the degree. Like, if you do it full time, you pretty much cannot work outside of that, especially like I'm training full time and like competing every single week. Sorry, I don't want to start this vlog like being like, oh my god, this is so much work. That's why I haven't vlogged for a few weeks, because I've just been like staying afloat and didn't want to have another thing to think about. But I thought I probably can just vlog, and then when I get a chance in a few weeks, edit. Really briefly, the workload. So I have a class every day, which is between 3 to 5 hours depending on the subject. On top of that, every class you have like pre-work to do, which is like the lectures and stuff you do before class, which takes like, honestly it depends, some take 2 hours, some take 5 to 6 hours, depends how much work they have. But the biggest part is the fact that there's 2 subjects have like weekly quizzes, not every week but like every other week, biochemistry and another like similar topic. And obviously biochemistry is a lot, so those are big tests to study for, even though they're not worth that much. I wish they were worth more. And then on top of that, I have like a massive report for every subject, and some subjects have like multiple. And the reports, if you guys have done like literature reviews, you know, like reviewing and critically appraising literature is just like, it's a freaking process. The report that was due today took me weeks of like 7 hours here, 4 hours there, 8 hours there of working on it. Like, anyway, we're managing. We've made it through halfway through the trimester. And I've also been competing every single week and training, so I do have just under an hour before class. So I usually will go to the library and get a bit of work done, and I also will have my brekkie. So I pack my brekkie because on the days I go to training after, I want to come and get a park so I can drive to training, and the car park fills up so fast. So I would eat it at home and then just come after that, but then the car park would be completely full. Often I don't get hungry early, like before classes, but I literally always will have a proper brekkie. Protein oats with the MACROMIKE chopped caramel bar protein. I also have my lunch packed. I just have some rice, veggies, hummus, and an egg today. I have an apple, I have a protein bar, and then like another muesli bar for a snack. And then I packed an Up and Go that I froze for my post-training snack tonight. I've usually been having like a protein shake just because it's risky. Like, will it be hot and warm by the time training's done tonight? I don't know, but let's hope for the best. So yeah, on the days I don't have training after, I'll stay in the library till like 7, 8ish. As someone who's like a stress head and always needs to like work until I've got everything done, I've had to just kind of come to accept that even if I work like 10 hours every day, there's always going to be more that's coming ahead. And it's like, I feel okay now that I've accepted that, and now that I know like I'm doing everything that I can as much as I can. Yeah, it's just about staying afloat. So I head to class. Monday morning is just a 3-hour class, so we finish around 11, and then I'll go straight to the library and work until it's training time. So if it's not a training day, I'll just stay to the library. Cool, I'll stay in the library till late. So in the library I work on whatever is due or I need to get done. On this day, I did 2 hours of biochemistry study for a quiz I had, and I did 2 hours on a biochemistry literature review and presentation that I had like as an assignment. So I also wanted to I wanted to tell you guys about my study technique lately. So what I'm doing here, I've typed out all of these questions and then I'm just answering them. So what I did was I have my lecture notes from the lecture. I go through my notes and create a question for all of my notes, and then I answer all the questions, and that's literally my study. I also had this MACROMIKE protein bar linked in the description box below for a discount code. Highly recommend. This has been like a go-to uni snack Anyway, back to what I was saying. So to study all my content, I have just created a question out of everything. Instead of writing it all down, looking at my notes, my aim is to answer all the questions, and then it also it's like a practice for an exam. So that's what I've been doing lately. I also end up putting my jumper on always because the aircon is pumping. I had a lunch break. This is also not what I eat in a day. Had some hummus and an egg and veggies and rice and an apple. And I was working on the literature review and presentation that I had for biochem. So later that arvo, I had training. It's about a 30-minute drive to training, so it's a time that I'm forced to chill, which is very needed. Training was cooked. Let me tell you, cooked. That's my friend Danny and Ryan, and we have a 3K warm up, and yeah. Between the 3s and the 2s, you know how you were just on the ground, and you were like this, your head was dying? Yeah. I felt the exact same, but I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. No, I want you doing it, that's why. I know, that's why I was like, don't do it, don't do it. I already did it. And I was like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. But then every time I looked at you, I was like, oh, I feel that. Oh.
I'm actually feeling okay with it.
Did you try?
Yeah, really good. Not gonna lie for the vlog.
I can't decide if I throw up or collapse more.
Both.
Just both.
Cheers.
Ryan, it's full been half an hour.
What do you?
So I had a basic dinner when I went home because I was dead. I was deceased. I honestly don't even remember exactly what the session was. So I'd have to look through my training diary. But I just know there was 300s, there was 200s, there was 400s. And they were fast. And there was lactic. And that was Monday. So after my gym session, I just did 30 minutes of study outside the gym because I had about 40 minutes before class started. On Tuesdays, we have the most, it's a 5-hour class and it's it just goes forever. So it's my least favorite subject on Tuesdays. We had a 5-hour class. I did have a MACROMIKE protein shake and a peach because we did get a little 5-minute break. So I went and filled up my shake. And then after class, I headed to the library. Are we surprised? That's a juicy peach. Miss you, peach season. So I headed to the library and I ended up staying for about 6 hours studying. So it was kind of an 11-hour uni study day, and yeah, don't love that for me. In the library, I spent 2 hours studying for the biochem quiz again, using the question method that I've been finding really effective. I spent an hour on the biochemistry literature review, and then another hour on the presentation that I was doing yesterday. And then I also spent an hour on a case study report for another subject, nutritional assessment and anthropometry.
so hard to see from the moment we arrive.
So I was honestly so exhausted on Wednesday. I did 2 hours of study before class, and then after a couple of hours of class, I did about 3 hours in the library before it was time to leave for training. But yeah, I was just really feeling the slog of the big week of studying. So I just tried my best to keep grinding. Oh my gosh. I look like a freaking llama. Actually, it looks like a bow on my head. I need to fix that. I got a notification saying that I had something to pick up from the post office. Because I live in an apartment block, nothing gets like left at the house. So I have to just like come past the post office quite regularly. Guys, my secret to these buns being a good size is that I use a scrunchie for the base hair tie. I think I might do this hairstyle for nationals. My nationals heat is in 2 weeks tomorrow. Like, what the hell? Because I regularly get Muscle Nation and MACROMIKE packages sent, I literally have come to the post office like twice a week, most weeks, or at least once a week, to pick up parcels the last few months that I've been here. And the lady at the post office, she knows me now, and she kind of just like, I don't know, like, I want her to ask. I don't want to just say to her like, but she's not going to ask because I would, I guess, be rude for her to say, well, why are you online shopping so much? I just want to tell her, I'm not online shopping this much. I actually am not online shopping at all. The other day she was just like, kind of like, gave me like a knowing look and like a, you again. And I was like, I promise I'm not blowing money. I don't have this money to blow. Like, I'm not just a serial online shopper, I swear, I promise. I'm going to have to take some content this weekend for both MACROMIKE Easter launch and also some new Muscle Nation stuff that I just got. I got 2 shorts, 2 crops, and a long sleeve top. So these are just the bike shorts, like scrunch high-waisted bike shorts. This color is bone, which I got a matching crop and long sleeve for. Is this, and that's the back. Oh, she's thick. This is gonna be really good for winter. I love these ones, and they have the little like thumb holes. And then I also got a longer crop but in black. Love like some of these long ones where you can wear it like to uni as a top. So training time, I was feeling extremely tired for the first few hours of today. And I think it was just from doing too much study yesterday. Like, I was literally on campus for 12 hours and it was just too tiring. So I need to like not burn myself out with study because I don't want to be fried for training. And also, there's no way to live your life by like being mentally completely drained. I feel a bit better now. Hopefully can get a solid training session in, because there's only a few more left before nationals, which is kind of scary and wild. My post workout up and go today is already melted, and it's gonna be probably hot by the time I get to it. Everyone, we're not the same. Together's where we belong. I did not know what I could say. There's what I want. They just of the night. We collided on the radio. Oh my god. Infect me with your love then. About my baby, see the lady in the drive you wild. The heavens ever did. She's the last true mouthpiece. You're standing at my door.
Tell me the thing, what shape or form that you're in, the place you're from, the wealth or the color of your skin. When all you have burns to the sky, it's all too late when you run away.
every time you guys ran past, I was like, fuck, that looks like torture. Just for the memes.
Oh yeah. I'm dying. I'm so happy.
Okay, let's go. Wait, you didn't hold it? Okay, go. Yes, okay, go. Yeah, that was good.
I had one of those nights where you literally cannot sleep for the life of you. I couldn't fall asleep. Which sucks because I have a biochemistry exam this morning. So I'm really hoping my brain's like switched on. Yeah, usually I train in the morning before class, but because I was just awake all night, I was like, and I have the exam, I just wanted to, you know, focus on this exam first, and then I'm going to train in the afternoon. So usually I would avoid training in the arvo because every Friday we compete, and the earlier I train, there's more like recovery time between when I train and race. But tomorrow's the first Friday that we're just training and not racing in the arvo for like 2 months, so I'm like, whatever. It's like 7ish, so I have an exam in about an hour-ish. In our 10 weeks of trimester, so not including the exam period after, we have 13 assignments / quizzes. So like every week there's like at least an assignment or like a test like today. This week we had both a report due and this biochem quiz. Next week is just a report. The week after is a quiz. The week after is a quiz and 2 massive reports. Just staying alive right now. So I headed to my biochemistry class. We have a 5-hour biochem class on Thursdays. It's a mix between a class and a lecture. And the campus was looking really beautiful today. Honestly, the campus is quite beautiful every day, and the weather in Perth is pretty much always like this. And yeah, so after the 5-hour class, which we did our quiz / mini exam at the beginning of, I then studied for a few hours as usual. I worked on the biochemistry literature review again, and then I was also studying for another quiz, and I also decided to study in one of the cafes on campus because the library was just so cold and it was also very full, and I also just wanted a change of scenery. I've really been liking doing cafe study for a change from the library, and it's just kind of like a nice vibe. And anyway, so I did that, and it also rained for the first time in 8 weeks that I had been living in Perth, and it was just a little drizzle. But after I studied, I did my gym session. I also met one of the like gym staff people and got some of the ECU gear stuff for like a uniform to take to Uni Nationals, which is a few weeks after Open Nationals. So usually I'll stay and sit outside the gym for another hour or so before I head home and do some more study. But I went to the library instead because I had stuff to print and it was like cold for the first time that I was in Perth. I was tempted to stay and keep studying, but I ended up heading home a little bit before 7 because I just was pretty tired and didn't want to feel so wrecked again tomorrow. I'm way too tired. Oh, good morning. So it is just after 7 and I'm walking to the hospital, which is very close to my place, luckily, because I'm a student dietitian in the community school today, in the clinic. There's a community clinical school which is run by student dietitians and dietitians to like teach the student dietitians. So I have 2 clients that I'll be seeing for the first time today with like a supervising dietitian in the clinic, which is kind of wild. Last night I kind of freaked out because I felt these 2 massive lumps like behind my kind of neck / ear, and I started to freak out. I was like, what the hell? Like jumping to the worst conclusions. But then I also thought, okay, this has come up in one day, like it's not like developed over time. But I do have a doctor's appointment at the health centre at uni after the clinic today to get back blood test results. So I will obviously be asking about those lumps then. I'm very tired. I think next week I'm just gonna have to really focus on sleep, even though there's so many assignments due the following week and an exam, because the following week is also nationals. So I just want to feel good for that and not be feeling exhausted. And yeah, so after the clinic today, I will go to the doctor, try get some work done because I have a lot to do. Last night I started doing some of the lectures. There's 5.5 hours of content for one of the units for next week's pre-work. So I started doing that last night, but I really want to get that done tonight. So I'll probably have to do it after training, but I'll try and get some work done before training if I have any time in the day, which I don't know if I will, because I really want to spend the whole weekend on all the assignments and reports. That's all I had to say for now. Okay, let's go do this. So I was at the clinic for about 4 hours, and then I headed to uni to go to the medical centre to get my blood test results to show my like immunity for my vaccinations, and also ask the doctor about my freaking lumps on my neck. And then I decided to study in a cafe again and treat myself to lunch, which I have really not bought out at all since being in Perth. This was actually the first time I pack it every day.
Can I please get the veggie wrap? Yes, please.
Yeah, so if you saw my vlog, the previous vlog to this, where I ate like Mexican out, that was the first time I had any food out, and then this was the second time treating myself because I'm being like really money savvy. But it was really nice, and it was again nice to study in a cafe, not the library. So I finished working on some like documentation after the consults from the morning, and then oh yeah, the freaking wraps. It was like roast veggies. It was pesto, roast veggies, egg, hash browns. It was kind of a sleigh wrap. Anyway, then I headed to the library and did a little bit more work in the library before it was time to finish up because of training. I'm balancing you on the seat because the lighting is just not it. So it's training time. I'm heading to training now. This is actually the first Friday in like a month that we've had training, because we've competed every single Friday as training, because in Western Australia they have, well in Perth, Friday nights is like the competition, whereas like at home in Sydney it was on the weekends. So it's kind of been awesome. I've loved competing for training, and I really wanted to race again today. After like as soon as you race, you know how you're like, I just want to do it again, especially when you like feel like you have more to give. But I'm honestly so glad we're not racing today, because I am feeling quite run down. Yeah, my body's just, I'm feeling a bit cooked, and like I haven't really rested at all, besides like when I go to sleep at night, and I haven't slept enough the last few nights. Anyway, so the doctor, she felt all my lumps and she was like, that's your lymph nodes. She said this is like the posterior lymph system or something, and she felt like all around here, and she was like, GF, your lymph nodes are like flaring. And I've had like lymph swelling before, obviously when you get sick, but like these lumps I've never had before. Anyway, she was like, you might get sick. Also, I think you're training, like obviously you're training a lot, so you might just be a bit run down from that. But yeah, it's your immune system. So I just thought, I realized that made a lot of sense, especially because I just have felt a little bit run down. Like this week we've done like
Monday's training session was so hard that by the time I finished like Wednesday night after training, I felt like pretty fried. Like I remember lying in bed feeling like I had a fever. And then I didn't wake up sick, but I've woken up with like fat lumps, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm very tired, so I'm very glad we're not racing. I don't even know if I'll get through a whole training session because obviously I just want to like get better and listen to my body. And I know I'm not listening to my body exactly by training, but like nationals is literally in less than 2 weeks. So I also don't want to be sick for nationals. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go see how it goes. And that's gonna be Friday. After I go home and get some more work done. I really need to like reduce the work I'm doing because I'm just exhausted from, yeah, anyway, I need to like rest more, but then there's not really time to rest, but also I need to rest more. Let's go.
It's the weekend. So my Saturday routine is I have brekkie and then I'll do like an hour or so of study while I digest my brekkie, because then I go to the gym and I have my cross training session. So I'll do like a lactic hard bike workout, and then I'll have a shower at the gym at uni because I will sweat. The bike is the one thing that makes me sweat. After that bike session, I'll have a shower at the gym. I think I realized one of the hardest things about how intense like studying is rather than just like working, besides the fact that it's like 10-hour like big study days, I can't wait to work. Like I can't wait to finish studying and work, because you have a work-life balance when you work, but I feel like you don't when you study, because obviously you're getting like, you have exams and assignments all the time. And I don't have a weekend. Like I study and I'm in the library like probably 8-ish hours on average, like 8 hours a day. I'll be like doing uni work every day, like 7 days a week. Like there's not a day where there's not the grind, if you feel. And I think that's like one of the hardest things. When I'm like working and like doing my career, I'm going to have weekends again, which, oh my gosh, like that's gonna be amazing. So I actually did have, in the last 8 weeks, I have had one day where I wasn't studying for 8 hours. I mean, there have been days where I've done less study, like when I had state and stuff, I would just do a couple of hours of study and then focus on like racing. But an actual day off I did have. Last Saturday I went to Rottnest with one of my really good friends, my training partner Danny, and we had like an incredible day. It was so beautiful. I will admit though, I do struggle to have time out without feeling stressed and anxious about it. Like, I mean, I did study that day. Like I still did a couple of hours before and after. I kept reminding myself, like, this is what life's about. Like, this is important to enjoy life, and it was very much worth it. We had an amazing day. It was incredible. Rottnest is literal paradise on earth. Like, I'm also so grateful to be, like, have such great people in my life and have made another lifelong friend. So many of my best friends are training partners and people I've met through sport. I feel like the connection you make with someone when you're both really passionate about a sport, but also when you're training and putting yourself in pain and pushing yourself together, like the connection is just like unmatchable. And like racing together and just like, if you feel, you feel, like teammates, like, you know what I mean? Like I know athletics isn't like a team sport, but it's still a team sport. So like anyone that does a sport that's like a team sport, or like if you feel, you know. Anyway, so I'll do like a lactic hard bike workout. And then I'll have a shower at the gym at uni, and then I head to the library where I will be for 8-ish hours. I'm so lactic and so cooked from that bike, but also feel good. Like, you know, those sessions that are cooked but you die and then you feel kind of energized from dying mentally, not physically, which is like, I guess, good for studying. Oh, my thighs are too lactic to walk down the hill right now. Oh. So yeah, I spend about 8-ish hours on a Saturday and 8 on a Sunday doing work in the library. Obviously last Saturday was the first and only Saturday I've had off in 2 months, and it was very good. But this is my usual like Saturday routine, like bike and then study. However, this morning I did have a few other things to do. I also took some content for MACROMIKE for the Easter launch, so I took some photos and made a reel for that, which like I had to get done. And I know I'm so lucky to be able to work with my favorite brands like MACROMIKE. I was a bit stressed though because it always takes longer than I expect, but I mean it always takes longer than you think it would, like making a reel and taking photos and stuff. I know that sounds silly, but it does. So took some time doing that. Oh yeah, and then on the way to the gym I went past the Salvos to look for a suitcase because I don't have a suitcase to take for when I go to nationals and uni nationals. Basically every time I like travel. Oh my gosh, I'm so cooked. My arm doesn't want to hold up like this right now. Wow. Oh my gosh, my training week is done. I'm so glad. Wow. Oh my gosh, one more training week till nationals. What the heck? Anyway, I'm being distracted. Let me swap arms. So I went past the Salvos, but they only had really small suitcases, which would not be enough to take all my like racing stuff. So tomorrow when I go to do the groceries in the morning, which is my Sunday routine, like household chores and groceries before study because it's my rest day, I'm gonna look in Kmart for a suitcase as well. Anyway, that was all I had to say. Time to go and grind. So I did a big study day. These are blue light glasses, by the way. And yeah, I smashed it out. And then, do you know what? I treated myself. I decided it was time to leave early and not stay till after dark. So I left around 6-ish to go and watch the sunset, which watching the sunset over the west coast of Australia is, add it to your bucket list right now if you've never done it, because the sunset's over the ocean and it's magical. So it's the last day of the week, Sunday. I feel like it's a little bit like a reset day because it's my rest day from training, and it's also like I do all my groceries and like washing and like just housework in the morning. So I'm gonna like vacuum I'm doing the washing load right now. Gonna have some brekkie and do a little bit of uni work while I wait for the washing load, and also wait to vacuum because my flatmates are asleep, but I'm gonna have to just vacuum anyway because they literally sleep all day and they're like awake all night, which really sucks to me because my room's next to the kitchen. And let's just say I ordered a pair of sleeping earplugs last night because I've had it. Anyway, I am feeling kind of run down today, but I'm gonna just have a really restful day. When I say really restful day, I mean I'm gonna be grinding in the library, but at least I'll be like sitting. Last week I was in the library till after 8 p.m, so I'm gonna try and just do like 6 hours today and not do any more. It's just hard because I'll write myself what I need to get done and it will just take me so much longer to get done the tasks because it's just so much. I am very grateful and lucky that I'm able to be a student athlete and like do a full-time degree and not work at the moment. If you weren't okay with stopping working, for example, like you just wouldn't be able to do something this full-time, because obviously like I literally, when would I have worked this week? Like throughout the night is the only time where I wasn't studying or training. And then obviously like you can't not ever sleep because you're not a vampire. So before I start my study day today, I'm gonna head to the grocery store and do some groceries, and also while I'm there I'm gonna pop into a shop to buy a suitcase, and I'm also gonna pop into ASICS, not because I need a new pair of shoes, which I really do, and I think I will have to get a new pair before nationals because I literally, my runners are falling apart.
But because I forgot to say the other day, Ella sent me a Snapchat when she went into work. Do you guys remember when I did that ASICS shoot last year? She sent me a snap saying, I come into work and look at what I see, and it was me on the wall in ASICS in Miranda. And I literally was so happy for like 3 days. I'm still really happy. Like, how cool is that? I'm gonna look and see if I'm in ASICS in Perth Joondalup, not Perth City. So keep an eye out for me in ASICS, although by the time this video comes out, I don't know if they'll replace that ad. I really hope it's still there when I go home in my trimester break for my grad and stuff, because for my undergraduate graduation and stuff like that, because I really want to go and see it in person. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. I'm finally leaving. I was there for 8 hours. I'm so fucking tired. Oh my god. I need to go home and like get ready for bed because another full-on week is starting tomorrow. And oh my god. Okay, we've made it to the end of the week. I feel like I was very productive, but at the same time I still have so much on my list of work to get done today that I didn't get done. Pretty much every day I'll write myself a long list and I allocate a couple of hours to each thing on the list, and they always take so much longer. But yeah, I did not get everything done, but I made such good progress on one of my reports. Really enjoyed vlogging this week. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to edit this, but eventually it'll be up whenever you guys are watching this. And I really want to be able to vlog more often, but it was extra energy, which I literally just don't have for the next few weeks to remember and plan when I would vlog things. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here at this point in the vlog, because I know it's gonna be a long one. If you did like this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel. That really means a lot. And please follow my Instagram because I don't know why I said because, just follow my Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.